Hey, so as part of our ongoing quest to get into sailing on a budget, as the channel is about, today we are working on the original compass that came with the Catalina 25, and I just got this thing pulled, and as you can see, this is a 1985 Suunto type B-110. It was made in Finland. It's one of the Finnish compasses, and the compass itself still functions quite well. It's got the UV cracking that you see. That was missing its light fixture, and you can see the UV where it's taken off the coating there, clear coat that was over the paint, and of course our clinometer markings here are getting faded. So I reached out through Catalina 25, a Facebook page, owners group, and as always, they're a blessing. And one of the members there hooked me up with a guy through Andrew's Compasses out of Massachusetts there, and I'll provide a link to that down at the bottom of the page there. And he was very, very helpful. For me, unfortunately, they did not make, they quit making parts for these in 1989. The part that I thought I was not going to be able to, or for me, the hardest part for me to get would have been this lighting fixture right here. So he did actually have a light fixtures for this. He did not have the globe here, which is the plastic, and did not have any of the stickers here with the kilometer. And I've also got a tiny hole back here on the rubber boot, which I will fix that with like the dinghy kit repair patch glue and whatnot. So I'll get that fixed there. And I think these diaphragms, hit me down in the comment section if I'm wrong. I think they purposely put these on here to go with the heat expansion, and as the temperatures change, the oil changes too, and it lets the oil fluctuate with temperatures. I could be wrong about that, but the reason why I wanted to restore this is, one, like I said, it still functions, and I can never say it, clinometer is still working. So did some research, and to get the one of the models that will fit right into the existing spot of this was a I'm trying to remember the model name now, a Ritchie, I believe it was a B202, but they want almost $500 for a new compass. So I'm just like, nah, we're trying to get into sailing on the cheap here. So my light kit, I think, ran me $30. So we'll get a light kit for this. Now, I did some research on YouTube, and what we're going to do today is take this globe off, and I can actually take window repair kit, or window cracking repair kit, and we're going to fill all these little cracks up with that window repair kit that you see that they use for like chips and different things in your windshield. Should take care of this here, and then once you fill it up with oil, you shouldn't be able to see any of that. And then we're going to reseal this, do that boot repair off the back with a instead of buying a new boot, which you don't make the part for. I think we're going to be able to repair this, hopefully get my light kit in within the next week, and we'll have a functioning compass again for under $50. I'm not going to worry too much about this. I've got a pen that's a glow-in-the-dark paint, so it's a fine pen that puts the paint out, so I'll go over these markings and the numbers, and then once I get my light kit in, I'll give a real light dusting of red spray paint to the bulb, and that will give us our red light as well. So let's get at this. I see we got this apart. There's, like I said, that UV hazing on this lens here. So we're going to take the car kit or glass windshield repair kit, and I'm going to roll it all around in there, and hopefully that'll fill these cracks up. I had some issue here getting this back together, and really this trying to do this gently. Yeah, she's sticky. There we go. As you can see, that's your disc there. And wow. We have to figure something out on this. Now that I'm looking at the inside of it, you can see the dry rot here. So I might, I think what I'll do is I'll buy some of that Flex Seal paint and give it a nice coating here on the inside and the outside, and I think that should do, because once it's filled with oil, it's really not going to fluctuate too terribly much, and it should do the trick. If it starts, leaking in 6 months or a year, at least we could say we tried, and then just go ahead and buy a new compass. But I like to try to, restore or save things, as much as you can, instead of just, throwing things away. So we'll give it a shot. So we're back. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I cleaned the lens with some just regular rubbing alcohol on the inside, and I didn't video. I took a razor blade to the edge there to get all the excess adhesive off, so it's got a nice flat surface now. Took some 2000 grit to the flat edge of this surface here that I'm rubbing my thumb against. So when I put this back to that metal there, I've got a good seal. I'll use some silicone for that, and then get a good adhesion back. That way we're not dealing with any leaks with this gasket off this rubber edge there. That's, you can see it's deteriorated. So we'll clean this up too, and then put nice big bead of silicone around that, and that way I think with the coat this in Flex Seal on both sides, the silicone, shouldn't have any problems with the oil. I don't think the oil's going to eat through that. However, my lens was yellow, so last night what I ended up doing was soaking this overnight in vinegar, and got back from work today, back to pull that out and dried it off, and you can see that it's nice and white and clear now, and we just got this UV crazing to deal with here, so we'll get at that. This is the windshield repair kit that I picked up from Amazon. I think it was like $18 or something like that. What I'm going to do is squeeze that whole tube in there, and then just roll that stuff around in there, and then lay that piece of plastic that they talked to you about using on that, and then pull that off, and it should do the trick. If it doesn't, then oh well, this is a learning curve. I'm learning right as you're watching this. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know how. There you go. You can see that liquid moving around, and what I'm doing is taking this resin and just working it over all those UV cracks, hairline cracks, and coating the whole inside of this lens, and hopefully it'll get thin enough to where it quits running all over the place here. But you can see it's getting over all those hairline cracks and getting them filled, and gave me an idea for this. Some guy was using super glue, and I just don't. I mean, it worked, but it didn't seem like it did the best job as clarity when it was done. It had a little bit of a haze to it, and of course, when he filled it back up with oil, it kind of hid that, but you could still kind of see this. Now, this resin with this windshield repair kit, I knew would dry like clear. So there, it's starting to slow down a little bit. So I'm going to keep working this, and then it says to let it sit for about 15 minutes. I'm trying to get the bulk of it out so we don't have, this stuff running down into the center. So we are back, and this dome has had 24 hours to cure, and I don't know if that picks up, but you can see the haziness. That's that thin windshield glass repair kit resin that I put in there, and what you saw where I was going like this, I got the whole inside of this dome coated with that stuff. And I did put some of the oil that we're going to use for the refill on this, and you can see once I get it there that the resin does clear up. Once you hit it with the oil, it becomes very transparent and clear. I did have 2 leaks before this resin was put in. There's one here and one here, and since I've done that and I let this sit overnight with oil in it, it's not leaking anymore. And an interesting thing too was I found online through Amazon, these globes are used in arts and crafts and kits for different things. So I did find one that this is 4 inch with a I think a 3/8 lip on this, and the only thing I could find was a 4-inch dome with the lip. So I went ahead and ordered it just in case it does work, because it will look a little bit better than all the UV cracking in there. I mean, it's not going to make that much of a difference, but it was like $14. So if we can replace it with new, fine. If the lip just barely sits around, it'll probably sit right where that seal is, instead of right now the lip sits out here, or if the new lip will probably sit right here. So what I'm going to do then is take 4300 to it to get the new plastic piece to fit in there. If it doesn't fit, then we will definitely be using this again, and it'll work just fine. So at least we were able to save this. If we can replace it with a cheap alternative, we'll do it, because like I said, compass was made in 1984 and there's no parts left for it. This rubber boot here is very sketch. I don't want to remove it out of the black framing, because this stuff will just probably break apart and I'll never get it back in there again. It's intact right now, and I'm going to use this product here called Flex Seal just to coat this outside and then the inside with a really good coating of this, and that'll still give it its pliability and hopefully save this boot. If not, that doesn't work. I did find some rubber diaphragms on Amazon again that should fit down in here, but it's not as pliable as this. However, it'll kind of serve the same purpose. And I am painting the frame of my new, or not my new, but I'm repainting the frame of this white, and the cover for that white, to help keep the heat down, the heat absorption down on this particular part. So that's where we're at with this, and I'll get this sprayed here, and we'll of course use some blue tape here to cover that hole up, and then get a good coat on the inside first to get this hole sealed up, and then we'll flip it over and then spray paint the other side of it. That should take care of our issue here. Hopefully this will all work out. Trying to avoid buying another compass at $400 and $500. So let's give it a shot. Got the outer housing sprayed with white primer. Of course, our clinometer diagram is covered in blue tape here to obviously protect that. But I'm going to ahead and spray the, instead of the original black color, spray it white to help reduce that heat and, the sun absorption and the heat to keep that back diaphragm. That's that rubber diaphragm from expanding as much due to the way we had to fix it with the Flex Seal. I did get my lighting kit in from Andrew's compass. It fits perfect. However, the previous owner has where the old lighting kit would have been, it broken the screws off inside this housing there. So I tried backing those out before at least getting the primer coat on it, and could not do that. So I have to be delicate and drill these out and try to get them out without messing the threads up. If not, I've got a thread maker that I can put in there, and then once that's all done, wipe that down, and then we'll give it a final paint of a gloss white. Andrews also has a new decal. Hopefully, he said he can find one in his spare parts drawer because they don't make the parts anymore. If he's got one, he'll send it out. If not, I covered the old one up with tape there to protect that. Our wood base here, pretty sad shape. I did give it a quick sanding just to get some of the old clear coat off of it in spots, and you can see the condition of this. So I will definitely hit this with the wood glue, then with the vise to get that all sealed up, and then I'll probably end up just taking some 80 grit to it on the sander that I have, that's a belt sander, and then just slowly turn this around this way against that belt sander, get that where the grains are even, and then take some 120 grit and then 300. Try not to take too much material off, but just get it to a point where it's going to take a nice 5 or 6, 7 coats of clear on that and the teak housing there, and we can get this thing put back together. Hey folks, I've got this finally got its 4th coat on here with the Flex Seal, and it's both sides have got the 4 coats, and it looks to be about 1.5 milliliters worth of material on either side, mils thick on this. So nice thing is this came in 2-day. It's the plastic dome that I ordered through Amazon, so they do make these in various sizes for different arts and crafts project, and it is so close to almost fitting the original dome. The good news is that it sets this thick lip around this piece of plastic where this doesn't have it. It does set up on here, and then what I will do then is take my Dremel and go ahead and shave all that off there. Now the only difference is there is, as you can see here, a bit of a gap, but that'll seal down. I'm not too worried about the way that looks. It's so close compared to the tight fit around this. This is the original lens. It's got all the UV cracking, and then that haze is the windshield kit repair that I slathered all over on the inside of it. Now that's had I filled this up with compass oil and let it set, and then poured it back into the container. So this did not leak at all now, so that's good. And then once I get the light kit in, then I'll put this all back together, and we'll see how it looks. So I also took the compass oil and put it in here, let it sit for 24 hours, and it did not eat away at this at all. I was concerned about the chemical, maybe it'd have a chemical reaction, but everything seemed fine. So once I get this thing put back together, we'll take a look at it. Nice thing is, though, this is saved. Like I said, it's anywhere from $400 to $600 for a new bulkhead compass, and I maybe got $50-$60 in this altogether with the light kit, the new lens, and the flex seal. So we're doing a budget build here, and money's tight, so this is definitely working out so far. All right, got our grain all sanded down now, nice and even. Everything's flush, whatnot, so we'll hit this with the 120 and then the 300. Next step is to glue the cracks down, get the clear coat on it. Belt sander did the trick, 80 grit. So got the compass put back together, and unfortunately we had a leak coming out of the bottom of the base here, and I was afraid of that. I was trying not to seal this off with silicone. I was trying to use the original gasket. It seemed pliable enough, but it was pretty worn. I thought by the compression of screwing the back down would take care of it. Got her filled up with oil, and about an hour later I saw a slow leak coming out of the bottom here. So I had to drain the oil out, tear it all back down, and then what I ended up doing was just running a bead of silicone around this inner gasket here. I got her tightened all back down. So hopefully once my varnish clear coat dries, I'll fill this back up. We won't have any more leaks. Check the light kit out. It worked beautifully. I'm not going to install the light kit until I know for sure this thing's not leaking. But yeah, once I got her all filled up and everything today with the oil, it looked really nice. That is the original sticker, the clinometer sticker. The compass shop told me he would look for one, but he didn't think he had any, and he said they're hard to, because they're perfectly gauged for obviously each compass. So you can still read the numbers and everything on there. It's just not the prettiest looking thing. But what I'm worried about is, of course, we're doing a budget build here, and I just can still read the numbers, so it's still functional. And then this piece here turned out really nice. I was surprised I was even able to save this. This is the second layer of clear coat on it, and I'm going to do 5 more layers, and I'm using the Rust-Oleum clear coat for boats. It's part of their marine series, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it's got high UV protection on it. I'm real happy with the way I was able to salvage this. I ended up gluing those 2 big cracks, and then glued this half the round pieces, flat round front piece was ready to come off. It glued up real nice. So yeah, I was able to save that, thank goodness. But yeah, it's already starting to lay flat on the surface here like it's supposed to. Probably about the 4th coat, it'll finally lay completely flat, and then I'll put 2 more coats on top of it. And we'll get it all put back together, get the oil in it, and it will be done. So hopefully here, a couple more days, have her all finished up. Hey folks, here is the finished product. I think it turned out quite nice. Just a few quick disclaimers here. We ended up not using the new plastic globe, just fitting issues and with some leaking. Also, you can see I did spray paint the metal frame there black, just for aesthetic purposes only. Also, do not use Flex Seal. I repeat, do not use the Flex Seal on the inner diaphragm after sitting in the oil a couple of days. Did start to deteriorate. To cure that problem, took the compass back apart, and I ended up spreading a thin layer of silicone, 100% silicone, on the whole inside of the rubber diaphragm, and then took a sandwich bag and cut that out and placed it against the silicone as a plastic liner, let that dry, put her all back together, filled her up with oil, and it's working just beautifully. As you can see here, we got the light kit all hooked up. It's working great. And hopefully this video helps somebody wanting to tackle this project themselves. I think it was great to put a couple $100 back in my pocket and to restore a piece of original marine equipment on the Catalina sailboat. Check back into the channel for more Catalina projects, and safe sailing everyone, and thanks for watching the video.